So this person says, now do cities and what party is in charge? And I'm glad that he said this, right? Because we were having a conversation about federally dependent states. Somebody said that he wishes that Trump put the lazy people back to work so that they could stop living off of his taxes. And I pointed out that most of the states that are federally dependent in this country are red Trump supporting states. So what you're really bitching about is you want more Trump supporters to go to work and stop living off the government. And then this guy comes in and says, now do cities and which party is in charge. We all know that Democrats typically are the ones in charge of cities, right? And the largest cities, New York, Los Angeles, Chicago, Houston, Philadelphia, they're all run by Democrats, right? But here's the thing. When you go back and you look at the list of the most federally dependent states, how far down the list of states do you have to go before you get to one of these truly large cities that you guys always love to bitch about? Are any of them in Alaska? The New Yorks, the Philadelphias, the Detroits, the Chicagos, the Los Angeleses, are any of the San Franciscos, are any of them in Alaska? No. New Mexico? No. Kentucky? No. West Virginia? No. Mississippi? No. North Dakota? No. Louisiana, you get New Orleans, but even New Orleans is way down the list on big cities. Montana? No. South Carolina? No. So all of these states are incredibly federally dependent while having none of the large blue cities that you guys so frequently like to complain about. Every state has a blue city in it, but none of these states have those. None of them have New York. None of them have San Francisco. None of them have Chicago. None of them have Los Angeles. None of them have Philadelphia. The largest cities that you guys always love to bitch about are in none of these states. So it really kind of blows your argument up, right? Because with the absence of those large cities, these red states are still extraordinarily federally dependent. Why? Because they don't levy enough taxes on their people. Because their people will revolt if they're taxed the appropriate amount of money it takes to run the state. That and piss poor budgeting. So you want to turn around and talk about cities. Fine, let's talk about cities. Can we also talk about counties? Because all those cities that you like to gripe about, they keep their states afloat. And they also are home to the counties that produce the most GDP in this country. The more than 500 counties won by Joe Biden generated 71% of American GDP. These are counties that contain cities like San Francisco, Los Angeles, New York, Philadelphia, Chicago. These counties generated 71% of American GDP. The counties, the 25, that was 500 counties, by the way. The 2,500 counties that Donald Trump won generated 29% of America's GDP. So none of those federally dependent states have any of those cities that you guys like to bitch about. Those cities are in counties that generated a vast majority of the GDP. So why the fuck don't you guys just sit back and say, thanks for the money?